Good morning and a warm welcome to the Ricoh Anything in Print webinar, which we have been running since the lockdown in March last year. Today's event is part 2 of a mini-series, which will be covering the importance of customer outreach and tools that can help you achieve an increase in revenue and, most importantly, customer engagement. If you missed the previous event, please make sure you watch it on demand and take full advantage of the information offered. You can access it via the link in the handout section. My name is Richard Mason. I'm responsible for the production print sales in the UK. I'm very pleased to be joined today by 2 colleagues and subject matter experts, Nick Daniels, Solution Architect, Specialist at Ricoh UK, and David Bowring, Technical Sales at EFI EMEA. We also have a special guest today, Lucy Swanston from Nutshell Creative Marketing, who kindly agreed to take the time to share how her team are using tools that we're about to talk to you about today. Between them all, they will be able to give you an insight into how to make your communication processes more efficient in the new reality we continue to find ourselves in. If you have any questions during the webcast, you can submit them through the Q&A tool. We will try and answer as many of these as we can during the webcast, but if a fuller answer is needed or we run out of time, we will answer them via email later. An on-demand version of today's recording will be sent to you after the event, and additional help materials will also be available as handouts. Have a look at the resource section and please feel free to download any you find useful. Before we move into the main event, I'd like to introduce you to our latest Room for Print in 2021 report. It's an independent study commissioned by Ricoh, which found that the pandemic acted as a catalyst to change galvanise many print rooms into demonstrating their value in maintaining core business processes. Using a number of real-life examples, the report uncovers the need to change, adding new services to new customers. Embracing digitisation and automating workflows are key areas for success and justify the continued investment. You can access the report via the link in the handouts. So before I carry on, let's have a quick look at the summary video.
Room for Print in 2021 is an independent study into how print rooms have adapted to the new way of working. The study highlights how certain print rooms across Europe have quickly adapted, with 3 key findings: relevance, flexibility, and reliability. Has insights from industry experts recommending that print rooms look at the wider opportunities, respond quickly, see digitisation as a chance not a threat, and have the courage to change. Focusing on 4 main areas: using COVID-19 as a catalyst for change, focusing on the customer, embracing digitisation, and automating workflows. Our solutions can provide the necessary tools to build the print room for the future through repositioning and growing services, allowing the print room to become an active stakeholder in marketing and digital document processes, including being able to offer high-value, personalised customer communication services with both print and digital output, and by bringing efficiency to the print room through workflow automation, including online print ordering and centralised print and mail. To access the report, please go to the Print Room Manager page on the Ricoh Europe website, where you can find further information and download the study. Room for Print 2021, an independent study to show how to build a print room for the future.
Okay, so no further ado, let me hand you over to Nick to start the main event. Over to you, Nick.
Some key areas here, and this is around operations and management of your areas, and what we're looking at here is around promoting the benefit of compliant customer communications and taking those to the next level by adding things such as cross-media campaigns, print where print is needed, or using digital means if you need to use another means. And this is helping key users, key service users with how to perhaps do online ordering. And again, that's accessing other services that you may be promoting and wanting people to use, and helping them actually, people on the operational side, automate the services that you're offering. So you're almost, where possible, removing the human touch points from the processes where things are very small, very light. It can often take longer to manage it than actually producing something. Then on the management side, it's very much around perhaps developing a business plan, especially where we are with COVID today, not quite post-COVID, but things have changed, and it's perhaps focusing on what you're really good at and what you're good at producing, and adding different service areas where you can complement how that may affect your business moving into the future, and especially joining with additional stakeholders who perhaps work more with marketing teams, administration, facilities, etc., the post room, to bring more services into your area to enhance the maybe the offering you have, but importantly, go to internal marketing, tell people about what you're using and some of those services you can offer. Moving on, looking at the next slide, we're also looking at strategy beyond print, and this is the piece around digital transformation we're hearing a lot around in the media at the moment. And this is applying the new services that we're going to be talking a little bit about later. So this could be around additional digital workflows. It could be the well-established form of web to print. Web to print is really e-commerce and all the different things we can do that. But it's about remembering to reposition yourselves as either print service providers or print rooms, and focusing on that new piece of the marketing you're doing. What I'd like to do now, though, is hand over to my colleague David Baring from EFI. So thank you.
Thank you, Nick. It's no secret that social media continues to grow in popularity for users and marketeers. Globally, over 3.6 billion people use social media, and the number is projected to increase to 4.4 billion in 2025. People spend a lot of time on social media because it helps us keep track of friends, family, and brands. Creating a social media marketing strategy is a must for reaching these vast audiences. Marketing departments want cost-effective communications, and electronic media seems to offer a great way to advertise. The pandemic has made the choice of advertising medium increasingly competitive, and as a Gartner study found last year, that 76% of market leaders expect a decrease in marketing budgets in 2021, and often direct mail is seen as an area to reduce spend. Direct mail previously hasn't had that instant statistical hit either, such as social media and email have. You cannot in a split second see who's responded and when. Marketing agencies have to wait to see an increase in sales the following weeks or months, so they don't see that instant ROI. However, according to a DMA response rate report, the average direct mail household response rate is 5.1%. But compared to email of 0.6%, online display 0.2%, and social media 0.4%, is quite effective. But if you combine it, the message with print, the report found that response rate lifted to 30 and 75%, with some campaigns seeing as much as a 200% lift. And make this all personalised. Response rates keep on improving. Print works in gaining attention and invoking a sales response. Thank you. Creating cross-media campaigns hasn't been so simple. There's so many applications: Marketo, HubSpot for automation, MailChimp, Octopus for email, InDesign, Microsoft Publisher for print, and mixing variable data. Well, you normally require coding skills in HTML and Java. This needs to be simplified. And involving multiple departments and employees and skills takes time to deploy campaigns. It becomes a serious project management exercise in itself. This can severely delay projects and increase costs. And these departments are all using the same images, but all duplicate efforts by using multiple applications. Through all the marketing noise, especially in social media, that people are being subjected to on a daily basis, you have to get the right message to the right person using the right medium. So you need to offer high-value customer communications that work. Thank you. You need one place where you can create personalized content for print, email, web pages, SMS, and post to social media applications, where they all link and work together seamlessly. No coding experience necessary, no plugins, just a central area to control all campaigns. Thank you. That's where Market Direct Cross Media comes in. It's an all-in-one print tool for creating a connected, omni-channel campaign, including email, print, polls, and text. Its unique design allows for the quick creation of personalized, one-to-one campaigns in a matter of hours. It puts print first in the marketing mix. You can use or create your own themes. These are bespoke templates that can be used across any campaign, shared between colleagues, and reused for another day. It makes bespoke communication quick and easy. Once these campaigns are deployed, you can track and monitor results in your own campaign dashboard, from lead engagement, email performance, survey results, and of course, by using QR codes, you can see the ROI of print and its response rate instantly. Thank you. Market Direct Cross Media creates complete campaigns where all media are linked by using a simple campaign wizard. No coding experience is necessary, no locally installed applications. You can combine personalized email, web pages, print, SMS, and social media posts in one integrated environment. Thank you. So let's talk about how this works in practice. With great pleasure, may I introduce Lucy Swanson from Nutshell Creative Marketing. Lucy.
Thank you, David, and good morning, everyone. So just to give you a bit of background, Nutshell Creative, we've been established now for 16 years, but we've got a specific side to the business known as Nutshell Trade Services. So we work with printers of all shapes and sizes in two ways, really. One is to create and implement their own marketing material and deliver their marketing activity. And the other is also using our digital services as a white label offering or a transparent partnership. And this is really to broaden and diversify the printer's service portfolio. We've also been a Market Direct customer for the last 9 years, so we've got quite a long-term relationship going on there. Next slide, please. So today I'm going to talk through a recent campaign built in Market Direct, and originally this just involved print and fulfillment. And I'd like to pose some ideas to you in how you can change this conversation and start to include marketing automation technology in the mix to ultimately help you win more business. So this project originally started out as a sampling campaign for a high-end cosmetic company called Dr. Sturm. And as you can imagine, sampling has been a huge drive over the last year, certainly for online retailers. So when taking an inquiry, a typical conversation would generally go along the lines of something like this. Can I have a cost, please, for 8,000 postcards, including fulfillment and mailing? And the answer would generally be, no problem at all, I'll get the cost over to you shortly. And the transaction, because it is a transaction, continues, and the client supplies the PO with all the job details along with the artwork, and away you go, delivering what you set out to do. Now, I know I'm being quite literal here, and some jobs can be more complex, but you get the idea. So how about you considered changing that conversation? Next slide, please. So how can you start to have a different type of conversation when you take that inquiry? Asking these sorts of questions will really help you understand the broader picture and identify opportunities over and above the printed element. So ask them, what sets their brand apart and what products and services will they be marketing? Who are they targeting? And why will they actually buy from them? Which channels will they be using? Will it be DM, email, social, SMS? And as David said on some of his previous slides, working with the likes of Market Direct, which we've done, you can work with all of these channels in one place, so it doesn't become a daunting prospect of managing multiple softwares together. I think it's also important to ask them, who will come up with the big ideas? Is it you, the employees? Are you working with agencies or multiple agencies if they have different disciplines? And this is quite an important one. How will the customer actually store their data? Is it, CRM, Excel, the filing cabinet, the floor? I've literally heard it all. A lot of organisations, particularly the smaller SMEs, they still don't have that structure in place. So with Market Direct, you can look and you can control the data on behalf of your client and provide that as a managed service for them. So the last few, how will you grow your database? I mean, this is really your opportunity to suggest more channels that you can incorporate within your campaign, and ultimately, how are you going to measure the success with the client? What are they hoping to achieve from the campaign itself? And finally, this has always been a tricky one to ask, but for me, this is critical to save time wasting and building a proposal and strategy that really works for everybody. Ask them what budget they have, and don't be shy to ask. And from my own personal experience, people sharing their budget often means that they're serious about implementing their marketing activity. They trust you and they want to make the campaign a success with you. So don't be afraid to ask. Next slide, please. So following that different type of conversation, this is what we proposed and built in Market Direct for Dr. Sturm. So initially, a social media post went out, and the offer was a sample of some free, very expensive face cream. So it came as no surprise to us and the client that with the right positioning of the creative, that all 8,000 samples were redeemed in 20 minutes. It was incredible. So the simple campaign flow then allowed the user to register their details, as you'll see on the data capture page. This in turn took them to a personalised thank you page, which automated the personalised thank you email, which then resulted in the final piece of direct mail that contained the sample within the envelope. And whilst this is all going on, the data is being beautifully harvested in this data pot, waiting for something else to be done with it. So we then suggested part 2 of the campaign, where we said, okay, once the customer has received, or the prospect has received their sample, how can we continue this conversation with them? So we're going to ask them, what did you think of the sample? So we then sent out a personalised email, because we've now got the information on this particular prospect that we've captured in the database. And this would take them through to a personalised survey page, and again, automate a personalised thank you, which in turn personalised the email that was sent through. And then the final part of the campaign journey was a drive to purchase email, which carries a 10% voucher and will ultimately drive the prospect online to make a purchase. Next slide, please. So you'll see from the campaign journey there that the conversation from being purely print-led led to one that was a lot more inquisitive, and it allowed the printer to increase their job value from 8,000 to 12,000, so an increase of 50%. And that was using technology to implement the campaign and moving away from just procuring print in isolation and being much more integral into the customer's marketing efforts. In addition to that, the client had 5,000 complete new data lines that they'd captured as part of the campaign. And now the printer can have subsequent conversations with Dr. Sturm around what campaigns can they do next? How can they continue the conversation with these prospects, start cross-selling other products, and using this data to market other areas with combined channels, as we've been talking about before. So that's really how the conversation continues and doesn't just work as a one-hit wonder project that has moved from being very transactional to a much more integrated strategic approach with multiple channels. So if you've got any further questions, please post them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you.
Lucy, just one from me. I mean, obviously, what, you know, in this particular campaign, I don't know whether you can divulge that information, but what was the call to purchase rates? You know, how many people, have you got that information now?
I haven't got that information to hand at the moment, purely because there's a few stock issues, but that's poised to go out very soon. But I think the kind of moral of the story here is that we've had, as I said before, had this more open and broader conversation, and we've allowed to generate more added value and more revenue in terms of offering this as a additional service over and above the print.
Okay, right, perfect, thank you. So it's obviously always great to work with you, Lucy. Thank you very much. Can I pass back to you?
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Lucy, for that. So before we carry on, so just a big thank you both to Nick and David, and a special thank you to Lucy for sharing her story with us. It just shows you what you can do if you have the right marketing tools at hand. I mean, it sounds so fantastic. You know, that they've redeemed it all in 20 minutes, Lucy. Fantastic. I hope you've all found this first-hand advice and information useful. Please remember we're here to help you. We welcome the opportunity to follow up and discuss our extensive range of products and solutions that might be able to help you do the same sort of thing that Lucy's done. If you think we can help, please get in touch via the normal channels. You can also download the content from today's, plus an extensive library of content to help your business thrive and prosper. I would also encourage you to register for the next webinars what we're hosting throughout the year, and again designed to provide an insight, inspiration, and support for your businesses. So we're going to look at any questions. Let's have a look. So we've got some questions, which we do. So I think the first question, David, to you really. Sorry, it says, sorry, how can print be linked to online dashboards?
Okay, so ironically, a couple of minutes ago, coming through the post from a company from Amazon, they're sending me direct mail to obviously promote Amazon Music Unlimited. And although they have all my details, although they send me adverts online and everything, they're choosing print to actually make me invoke a response and then know whether I made a response by using the QR code here. That would take me back to my account and they can see whether print has worked or not. They'll be able to track me. How quickly did I read it? And all of, you know, when a company such as Amazon invest in, you know, the money into print, you can see obviously how effective it can be. Hopefully I've got my hand over my address. So QR codes is the answer.
Right, thank you, David. Next question, this is from Peter, and I think this is probably going to go to you as well, David. Can multiple staff access one campaign?
Yes, so different users have different access rights. They can come into the same campaign, and from, say, for instance, in a university, you could have the applications team go ahead and go into the same cross-media campaign as the staff in the print room or the design team. So you can all be working on one project together seamlessly.
Thank you. Nick, I think this next question would be for you. This is from Jane. How does your work, how does this work within design? You're on mute, Nick.
Within design, we have a plugin. So if you've got your your layout, your templates, you can create on various areas of the page, where you want to have a variable image or variable text, so that when that comes to be used online, you're basically following the rules set by the designer. So it's a simple plugin.
Thank you. Nick, you might as well stay online and answer this question. This is from Bob. Can you connect to the university application database?
Well, the key thing here is we can connect to almost any database. And the great part of perhaps the solutions we have here is it acts as a middleware in your organization. So middleware being that it doesn't impact where things, maybe are being created, where it starts from. We can pick up that information, recompose it, relay it, and use that as part of your campaign, and talk back to your database if necessary about what's being done. So yes, we can really connect to almost any database.
Fantastic. One more question here. I think this is Lucy for you. This is from Andrew. What's your advice on creating multiple channel campaigns to use via our council leisure facilities?
Okay, I think I'd probably start off initially by really working through and defining what the objectives of the campaign were first. So, was it to drive new customers into the facility? Is it to drive existing customers into the facility that are perhaps not using all the services that are on offer? So really get a firm understanding of exactly what the goals are to deliver against as part of the campaign. And then I think, secondly, I would start by understanding what current data they've got, and how we could look at segmenting it and how we could personalise it in terms of the different channels that we would use in deploying the campaign, whether it be the DM and email or personalised landing pages. So we're really segmenting that data and targeting the audience with the information that we know is going to be relevant to them. And then, of course, what we've all been talking about today, I'd obviously integrate my approach and make sure that cohesively all the channels would be working hard together within the tool itself, and managing that with the clients. They have access to, the dashboard in terms of their analytics, and we can see, what's performing best, etc. Does that answer your question?
I think it does, yes. Thank you very much. There are no more questions currently, so I'd like to just say to everybody that's joined, thank you for joining. Don't forget to look out for our next webinar, which will be soon, I'm sure. We'll send out the communications. But everybody have a great day, and thank you very much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.